Hey everybody, my name is Malcolm Dakar and welcome to my channel. I am a fashion designer. I've been doing this for about 6.5 years and I've been doing everything from start to finish myself. So from the pattern making to the garment construction to, any design that I wanted to do, I have always done it myself, for multiple reasons, more or less. Uh, the main reason being that, I just couldn't afford to go to a manufacturer or, hire somebody to do this, that, and the third every single time, especially since I had so many ideas and so many different things that I wanted to see. So, yeah, I just started doing everything myself, and I really haven't looked back. And it's been incredibly rewarding and empowering, just gaining all of this knowledge over the years. And now I feel like I am finally ready to share that with everyone else. I've been just terribly afraid of uh, trying to teach someone because I understand that it's different to know something and to be able to teach someone what you know. It's you have to be able to talk to someone who doesn't, they're not in your head kind of thing. So yeah, it was just kind of scary for me to start this, but I don't think I will steer anyone in the wrong direction. I believe that uh, everything that I will show you guys will be beneficial in one way or another. So yeah, I'm just really excited. The most excited that I've been since I started making clothing, honestly. I know that on this platform, you can build a very strong knit community, and that's something that I'm looking for is community. I really want to build something special, something that I can really stand on, and I want people to be able to have a place where they can ask questions and just learn, and just explore their own creativity, and yeah, just have fun. So this first video, I'm going to be discussing everything that I use on a day-to-day basis, from my machines to my tools and everything like that. So let's get right into it. The first thing we have, obviously, is a sewing machine, and I am not going to really, go in depth of my sewing machine because I know a lot of people have different ones. So yeah, this is just a basic brother, pretty lightweight. But I'll make a whole video on how to thread it and everything like that. So this next one is I would say it's kind of optional. Only reason I say it's optional is because you can finish your seams with a zigzag stitch. I haven't since I've had this machine pretty much since I started, which I'm very lucky that I have. And this is a serger or overlock machine. And what this does is just creates a really nice finishing seam on the inside, that is just, and you can see I have, 4 different colors up here. You can switch up the colors to essentially like incorporate the thread into your design, right? If you're making a red garment with a blue contrast stitch, maybe you want to have all blues up here as well to just, add on to the entire piece, which I really like. But like I said, it's not anything that is necessary, especially if you're just making stuff for yourself. But if you are, trying to sell something or you want, just a really nice stitch, it's very handy. I love it. I wouldn't be selling things if I didn't have this machine probably. But like I said, it is absolutely optional and you definitely don't need it when you're first starting off. So the next thing we have, I'll just kind of get into my rulers, I think. First one, and this ruler, I don't know if you can tell on camera, but this ruler has no numbers on it. Well, it has a couple, but pretty much no numbers. They've been, worn out, worn off. But I still use this because you pretty much just need something straight and like sturdy and has like kind of something you can just run your pencil or pen along when you're making your patterns. When I'm making my straight lines, when I'm trying to connect something, I will typically use this. It still works, you know, the handle's still cool and everything. So until like this breaks off in my until this breaks and is just unusable, I'm not gonna stop using it. And I should say, I should have said before I got into all this, it is totally, in my opinion, it is totally okay to have uh, hand-me-downs, as long as they aren't like dirty or you know rusted out or something or dangerous. I would absolutely suggest asking your grandmother, your mom, your aunt, maybe your uncle, father, grandfather, whoever, if there is any old sewing machines and equipment and everything lying around, because a lot of our grandparents and everything had to sew out of necessity, right? So, you know, they might still have a really nice sewing machine downstairs or in the attic. They might still have some rulers or you know some tools that you can use. So you don't have to go out and buy all of this stuff, because I'm very lucky that I didn't have to do that, because it would have been very expensive. Like, you know, buying these machines, buying these rulers and everything brand new would have been incredibly expensive. So I'm really lucky that, you know, I had an aunt that was a seamstress and she was able to give me a lot of the stuff that she didn't use anymore. So yeah, that's my one thing, is definitely ask before you go out and buy this stuff, or you know you start looking for this stuff, because yeah, it could literally be laying right under your nose and you literally don't know. So okay, let me get back into it. So yeah, this ruler, like I said, hand me down, still works. You know, it's not dirty or anything, so I don't get anything on my fabric. And yeah, it's totally okay to have hand me downs. Next ruler we have this. When I googled it, because this is what I use for like my pants to make that curve of the hip, and also the inside. Actually, hold on. So I use this ruler to create, see if you can see here, like the curve of this hip and also the curve on the inside. So this is very handy. Most of my curve rulers are very handy because they help me create curves that you need with your pattern making. And so yeah, if you just kind of Google a curved ruler, I'm pretty sure this will come up, and you just kind of look for, you know, it's not a huge curve, but it just, you know, allows you to create that shape that we kind of naturally have with our hips, most of us. And so yeah, just like Google this or look for something similar to this, because you will definitely need it if you're trying to make pants. Next, we have French curve ruler. And, you know, again, guys, like I said, tons of tape on here. I don't know if you can tell in the camera. Tons of tape on here. I've accidentally cut through this a few times, but it still works. It's still usable. Mainly, I use this to create my neck and my armhole. And so this is just, again, very handy. And I've seen people, you know, just kind of make their necks and armholes kind of either just through drawing it themselves, or they have other methods you can use to kind of square it off and then just make a little curve. But I found that this is just super helpful and handy and just makes my life easier. And I don't know if you can tell on camera, but there's like two sides to this. So one side is for the front and one side is for the back. What that essentially means is, let's see here. Okay, yeah, so this is the front. So this line here is the front. And so you would place this, you know, I can't really tell what I'm doing on camera, but you'd place this like this, and then you'd make your neckline. And then for the back, let's see, is it the back? Yep. For the back, you would go like this, and then you would use this to create your neck, your back neckline. And then, you know, you go like this to make your armholes. And again, like I said, just very handy and helpful. Like I said, I've seen other people like not use these and have other methods, but I wouldn't be able to do, I don't think, the stuff that I could do without these rulers, because they're just very handy and helpful. Okay, so next ruler we have tape measure, and I mainly use this because this ruler, like I said, the numbers are worn out. So I use this to create my lines, and then I use this to actually mark, how far over I want to go, if I want to go 12 inches, 13 or whatever. And this is what I use for that. And you use this, you can use this to take measurements for yourself or for others, when you're doing your chest or hips or whatever. This is what you would use. I don't think you could use a ruler like this. Next ruler we have is just, I don't know exactly what this is called, but you can just see it's just a very small ruler that you can use to like mark, 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 4 inch. Um, it's helpful because I use this. I guess I mainly use this when I don't have like this lying around, because I think you really could just use like this for most of your stuff just to mark or figure out. But still kind of handy. I like using it from time to time. Next, we got the sharp stuff, and again, like I said before, um, as long as it isn't harmful, like the handle is about to break, something weird like that, I would definitely say, use them. And as long as they're not like rusted or dirty to where like, you'll get it on your fabric, definitely use this stuff. We have shears, and typically people will have two kinds. They'll have one for fabric and one for, miscellaneous cutting through paper and everything like that. Um, I will say the sharper your scissors, the safer, because you got to think, if you're steadily trying to cut through something and it's not really coming, or your scissors aren't sharp, just might run the risk of cutting something that you don't want, or potentially just maybe cutting a finger, slicing something off. So definitely like just get a sharp pair of scissors, because it just makes the most sense. And then, yeah, like I said, as long as they're not about to break off or anything, like you can see here, there's duct tape on this, but still works, still usable, until they really break. I'm gonna, continue to use them. Next, we have my Fisker, or not Fisker. Fisker is the name of the brand, but rotary cutter. And I would absolutely say this is essential for me, because I see a lot of people using scissors to cut their patterns and cut the fabric and everything, but I don't trust myself to make that straight line every single time, especially with certain fabrics and everything. I like to have my fabric on something, and I can just press my hand on it and just use this to cut. And yeah, I absolutely could not make my stuff without this. And they have different sizes. I have a big one lying around here too. But honestly, if you have a sharp blade on this will cut through stuff like butter. It's very sharp. Like I said, watch out. Always make sure that when you're not using it, it's up, because you don't want to accidentally slice something, or have. I've had this fall off the table before. It brushed up against my leg and it actually sliced my leg. Not deep or anything, but it will cut you. So I would definitely say, just be careful when you're using this, especially if you haven't used this before, because I remember when I first started using this, it just felt so wild to me in my hand. And you can definitely, well, I should backtrack and say, never have your hand in front of like what you're cutting or anything, because that's just dumb. You can absolutely, cut something if you're not paying attention, or you don't like feel the tension or something, you might accidentally slip up. So never have your hand in front, always to the side, always to the side. That's like my main thing. Okay, next we have just like you just need really like a small pair of scissors to, or like snips or whatever, to sometimes you might not want to use your big scissors to cut threads or something, because you might run the risk of accidentally cutting something you don't want, cutting the fabric or something. With these, it runs the risk of you not doing that. So they're a little safer when you're trying to cut something small or cut threads off or something. I would say they're not essential, but they will make your life easier. So might be worth investing in. Next, just some pins. I As I show you guys how to do things and stuff, I might not pin stuff because I've just come to the point where I don't need to pin everything, especially if the fabric, won't isn't like shifty, isn't slippery or anything. So, but I will say you will need pins probably if you're a beginner, just to pin your fabric. So pinning right side to right side, so nothing shifts on you and stuff doesn't come off looking all crazy because you didn't pin it. So you will need some pins. Next we have a tracing wheel, and I'd say you might need this if you're actually, yeah, you will need this because if you are maybe making patterns from like previous existing garments, like I used to when I first started, you'll want to lay your jacket or pant, whatever, down on the paper, and then pretty much you can go along the garment with this and just tracing wheel, and just trace along it, or you can take a pen or pencil or something and just make that. But yeah, you can also use this. Again, not a must-have to start off, but it could, you just might find that you like using this more than a pen or something like that. So next, okay, this may or may not be your best friend, and this is a seam ripper, and it's exactly, the name is in the title. You use this to, if you mess up or something, you can use this to pick out the seams. Um, and so, like I said, this literally might be your best friend because you might mess up quite a bit. And depending on how bad or what you mess up, you might need to just, get those threads out and start over. So, yeah, I would absolutely say this is necessary, because, yeah, I doubt you'll just be making stuff perfect just from jump. And so you'll probably mess up and you'll probably need something, to pick out those seams. Next, we have a iron, and irons are very important for certain garments when you need to press the seam open. And like certain things, like I would say a sweater or hoodie or something, I don't usually press my seam open because I will use my serger to finish that seam. But you can still press that seam once you've done all that, just to give it a nice press look, and so it doesn't look like it looks way cleaner when you press your seams. That's one of the main things I learned when I first started, how important pressing your seams open, how important like back stitching is. But yeah, I would absolutely suggest getting an iron. Again, doesn't need to be new. Just make sure that it isn't dirty and your ironing board isn't dirty either. So, you don't get any of that dirt on the fabric, because I'm sure you would hate to make a garment and, you start pressing it and then you get a bunch of, unwanted dirt on it. It'd be very frustrating. It's happened before, not fun. And I forgot to mention a cutting board. And the cutting board and the rotary cutter are kind of a package deal. Like if you don't want to use this, you probably won't need this. And you need a cutting board because when you are cutting through stuff, you don't want to cut through your table or whatever. So you'll need something like, you'll need a cutting board to cut through cut through the paper or the fabric or something. But if you're not using this, you probably don't need this, because yeah, if you're just using scissors, you're just cutting kind of like that, so you don't need a surface to cut on, I guess I'd say. But like I said, package deal. You probably need to buy both if you're getting one. And I should have said this in the beginning of the video, but it's fine. And you'll need pattern paper. And this isn't actually pattern paper. This is like painter's paper. I think they put this stuff on the floors when they're painting. And I get this from, Home Depot. I don't know if Lowe's has it. But yeah, it's in the painter section. And you see it's very skinny now because I've been making a lot of patterns. But it comes pretty thick. It's pretty heavy. Well, not pretty heavy, but it's kind of heavy. And you get a lot of paper. I think it's maybe like 12 bucks or maybe 21 bucks. I got my numbers confused. But yeah, you'll absolutely need some type of paper if you want to make your own patterns. I've seen people use newspaper before, or like, if you have some like brown packing paper lying around or something, but I would suggest this because it's like a nice thickness, and until you get to like this point to where it gets really small and it'll start kind of curling on you, it'll be like very straight. When you first buy it, the paper is very straight, it's nice to work with. And like I said, it's a nice thickness. Like if you bought a pattern from the store before and it's like that tissue paper, and I hate that stuff because it's so easy to rip, and you got to be super delicate with it. You don't have to like kind of tiptoe around this stuff. It's very sturdy, and yeah, this works very well. You can get a lot of patterns. I mean, you can see, it's pretty wide, very long, and you can get quite a few patterns from this. So yeah, that is what I suggest you do if you do want to make your own patterns, is going out and getting this, because you can literally use this for a really long time, because I've made like, I think maybe like 50 plus patterns like with this stuff, and I doubt you'll be making 50 plus patterns. So this this paper will last quite a long time. And yeah, I think that's it. Besides, you'll need a pen, pencil. Uh, yeah, I really think that's it. And anything that I do use that I forgot about in the video, um, as I use it, I'll just tell you, hey, I'm using blah blah blah, and this is what I use it for. I I will definitely ramble a lot as I explain stuff. I might forget what I'm talking about. It happens often, but I just really want to share every single thing that I know. And so yeah, I might go a little off script and start talking about something else when I'm talking about when I'm talking about pattern making or garment construction or something. But just stick with me, because I think my information is absolutely valid, and it's worth listening to. Like I said, I've just gained a lot of knowledge over the years, and I'm just really excited to share what I know with everyone, and in hopes that you will come out more confident and be able to create things yourself. So so yeah, like I said, I'm very excited. Please stick with me. I'm doing everything myself, so the edits might be a little choppy, whatever, but I'll get better, and I really want this channel to be, I really have high hopes for this channel. So yeah, just stick with me, and let's have some fun.